The government flew in 30 Filipinos from Wuhan, China on Sunday, and they were brought to the athletes' village in the new Clark City in order to be quarantined for 2 weeks.
The local government of Capas gave in and allowed the use of the facility as a quarantine site, but they are hoping that this will not become a permanent arrangement. Jenny Dawn with the story.
In a span of 9 hours, the plane left Clark for Wuhan, China, and returned with 30 Filipinos, including one child, on Sunday. They were joined by members of the repatriation team from the DFA and DOH. All passengers wore protective gear in flight, so did the crew. The repatriated Filipinos underwent 3 thermal scans to find out if there are those who have fever, an often common sign of infection. Based on DFA's data, around 300 OFWs are said to be in Hubei province. 56 of them intended to be repatriated, but only 30 showed up at Tianhe Airport on Saturday night.
Yung iba, nag-back out dahil yung last minute, naisip nila gusto na nilang magtrabaho doon o magstay. Yung iba naman kasi, meron din silang mga ibang problema. May mga visa problems, merong mga violations, or yung iba may mga cases, so hindi sila nakasama.
Upon arrival, the group was immediately brought to the athletes' village in New Clark City over in Capas to undergo a 14-day quarantine. The OFWs and the repatriation team stay in one building, while officials from the DOH and Bureau of Quarantine are housed in a separate building.
Per room, isang tao lang po. Dahil although they came from the same place, hindi natin alam kung ang exposure ng isa ay nag-iiba-iba. So kung makakasama sa isang room at yung isa pala ang na-expose, damay pati yung iba. Ang naging policy po natin ngayon, since we have still sufficient number of rooms, one repatriates one room. Pwera na lang kung pamilya, mag-asawa, then there are provisions for that, lalo kung may bata.
Packed food will be laid out on an alley inside the building. Patients will have to get their food one person at a time. Authorities say the repatriated Filipinos will be allowed to use their phones, but there are few restrictions.
They will be allowed to use that, but primarily to contact the family. Hindi yung mag-post ng ganito, magreklamo ng ganito. Although the way we see it, wala naman silang i-complain sa lugar. It's a very good facility. It's the athletes' village. So, aircon, may refrigerator. They will also be provided opportunity to breathe fresh air. Meron doong portion na parang near the door. By batch, by schedule, they can go out and see the world around and enjoy the view of the NCC. And this will be the routine.
The medical team are on standby 24/7. Teams from 5 different hospitals will work in 3-day shifts. Hospitals are also ready to admit patients who may show signs of the nCoV acute respiratory disease.
DOH hospitals ito, they will take turn in manning the health clinic doon, health post, so that in the event na kailangan may ilipat, nagkaroon ng symptoms, they will also be monitored every day. Madali nating maia-assess at mailipat agad sa hospital.
The health department says the patients will also undergo mental health assessment on the 3rd day of quarantine because it's not easy to be isolated for 2 weeks. Meanwhile, the local government of Capas, which earlier protested the turning the athletes' village into a quarantine site, has come to terms with this development. But the LGU laid out a few conditions to help ease the worries of residents.
What we're avoiding is maging permanent quarantine station ang athletes village, which is within the geographical territory of Capas. No? Kung itong batch lang na ito, then that would be fine. Well, nandyan na yan. Kung pwede, yung batch lang na ito. Para mawala yung agam-agam na ito na yung magiging permanent quarantine station. Wala na po tayong magagawa kundi sumang-ayon sa utos na po ng ating pamahalaan at bilang karagdagang proteksyon na lamang po ay yung nga po humingi po tayo ng mga kondisyon para po matiyak ang kaligtasan ng aming mga kababayan.
The LGU distributed face masks and alcohol to residents in Sitio Camates, which is the nearest residential area to NCC. Still, residents fear for their health.
Nagpapray na lang kami, dumating yung araw na paalis na sila dito. Yun ang hinihintay namin, na 14 days kung buhay pa kami. Hindi na kami natutulog, yun ang inaano namin. Yung mga bata, hindi na namin pinapapasok, hindi kami naniniwala. Diyos lang ang mag-ano, tiwala kami.
Ako, inubot, sinisipon na nga ako eh. Hindi ko nga alam kung may virus na nga rin ako eh. Oh. Pero hindi pa ako nagpapagamot.
Anong gagawin nyo na lang, sir?
Eh, antayin na lang yung magkasakit. Kung sakali, wala naman na magagawa ang mga tao eh. Hindi na lang na dito eh. Nandito na yan eh.
The DILG, though, is appealing to Capas residents to understand the government's decision in using the athletes' village as a quarantine facility.
Sana wag nang maging issue ito dahil ayaw na nating palakihan. At unang-una, ang niligtas natin ay mga OFW. At saka malinaw naman ang guarantee na binigay sa kanila ng Department of Health. Mga tiga-Capas, ito yung mga kapatid nating Pilipino na kung saan ang laki ng bagong bayani and yet ganitong treatment natin sa kalawag naman. Anong gusto nyo? Bakuran natin ang buong Capas para hindi kayo maapektuhan?
For News 5, Jenny Dongon, We Are One News.
And the government is telling residents of Capas, Tarlac that there's no need to worry about the possible spread of the new coronavirus because they've put up enough safeguards around the quarantine zone in New Clark City. DILG Undersecretary Jonathan Malaya says all 30 repatriates who are now staying at the Athletes Village have not shown any symptoms of the disease. Malaya also dispelled rumors that the virus can be transmitted through flies.
Wala pong ebidensyang ganon. It cannot be transferred through flies and other insects. And wala nga pong simptomas yung mga repatriates natin. Therefore, there is really nothing for the people of Capas to be worried about.
Labor Secretary Sylvester Bello III assured OFWs who are being repatriated or who will be repatriated because of the SARS-like disease that they will receive financial aid of 20,000 pesos as well as livelihood assistance.
I'm sure most of them may also consider another employment opportunity, so we have also a alternative employment abroad na naman yan.
And after reports spread that the 2019 novel coronavirus can be spread through the air or is airborne, Health Undersecretary Gerardo Bayugo says the Philippines has been in contact with medical experts in Geneva, Switzerland over this concern. He assured the public that there's no proof yet that the coronavirus is indeed airborne.
Wala pa pong ganong information that this is transmitted by aerosol or by air. Wala pa pong scientific basis at wala pa po kaming nakukuhang report.